Brandon Johnson is going viral right now? And it's because he slipping in every time he get on a national platform, he's slipping in the idea that they're investing in and they want back reparations from the federal government for how they're trying to fix the problems that's happening inside of Chicago. They said that they want to fix problems in Chicago, crime, homelessness, issues, and trouble by asking for reparations several different times. And they caught him on a hot mic saying it again when he was interviewing with somebody. Take a look.
Progressive Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson says the government has to get more involved in ending the city's out-of-control crime crisis by paying out reparations.
Let me stop that for a minute. Before he actually shows some of the clips, the way that you stop the crime and the problems happening in Chicago is that you got to give the people reparations. Y'all still with me? Shout out to C. Jones getting that Teej Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift.
Watch.
What I've built within these last 7 months, in order for us to have a better, stronger, and safer Chicago, it really requires the full force of government. And I've just released my full-out community safety plan that not only gets at the root causes of violence in the city of Chicago, but we're making critical investments. We have stood up an entire office dedicated to reentry. So individuals who are returning to our communities who have been incarcerated because of failed policies, we'll have a welcoming space for them. I've added a $500,000 for restoration and reparations.
Hold on for a second. Give me a second. Mayor Mohawk is taking tours and he's leveraging the full force of the federal government, and he's taking the initiative by allocating monies for restoration and reparations, especially for people that are re-entering, that are the victims of the system that kept them down. Mayor Mohawk is on the prowl. He did not learn his lesson from last year and just stand low, taking care of business, doing his job, talking to his constituents over in Chicago, and making sure he's on top of things. Instead, what he decided to do is he wants to go on a nationwide tour to advocate for and to allocate reparations and restoration for the people that's been harmed by this system that then led to the Chicago crime wave. Let me say that again. To solve for the Chicago crime wave, he's believing in restoration and reparations. Not more police, not more opportunities, not having people coming in as far as the migrant crisis. Is giving free money out to the people. That's going to solve for it. All right?
To address, again, the cycle of violence.
Let's bring in former NYPD officer Bill Stanton. Bill, reparations to fight crime. Please explain that to me.
Yeah, he should be a stand-up comedy because I'm laughing, Brian. I mean, this is so tragic. It's almost comical. I mean, let's go through the list, shall we? Equitable justice, how did that work out? You know, no cash bail, non-indemnification for police officers legally doing their job. You know, now what about the victims? We hear nothing but the victims. You know, talking about spending more taxpayer money for reparations, how about a novel idea of supporting the police?
Baby, if you're going to super chat, at least you're going to have to learn how to type my name right. Listen. We'll get to this super chat shortly. Let's continue.
Not defunding them and enforcing the laws on the books, making safe spaces for criminals to further impact the victims who are more than likely persons of color. It makes absolutely no sense, Brian.
Yeah, not a word about the victims. You know, since Mayor Johnson took over from Mayor Lori Lightfoot, you remember her, murders are down 13%, but total violent crime is up 17%. And what I hear Johnson saying is we've got to have a all of government approach, which of course is just his way of saying we're going to spend a heck of a lot more money. But I just don't see money being the answer here.
You can't throw money at a problem and expect to solve it. We've already seen that with DJ Academics. We've seen that with Epstein. We've seen that with everybody. Money makes you more of what you already are. And all the people going to do is be out here going and get BBLs. They're going to be in Miami. You're going to see a whole lot of Lamborghini Uruses, Cadillacs, Rolls-Royce Cullinans. They're going to be sold out for the next 3 years, right? That's all it's going to do. It's going to be more parking on the grass, parking on the lawns. Ain't nobody actually going to do anything with it. Nobody is financially literate. But that's the way that we're going to solve for crime. We can get people to stop doing crime if we just give them some more money. Okay. And your money, let's be clear. Your money. This isn't just giving out money. This isn't just investing. This is giving out your taxpayer dollars. You guys do realize that they take it from you to give to you or to give to other people. You do realize that they're taking from you to give to other people. You pay taxes whether you want to. You don't get an opportunity to opt out. You don't. They already decide what they're going to do with your money before you even pay it. Before you pay it, they already going to do what they're going to do with your money. Every single time that you get your paycheck. I want y'all to start because, they don't actually give it to you in a paper check anymore, because when you used to get that paper check, for those of y'all that's old enough, you used to first look at the top before you start looking at the bottom. First you go to the bottom and then you go back up to the top to try to figure out why so much missing, because you worked back then, what was it, like $10 an hour? When I first got out of high school, before I got that big bag, you work $10 an hour, you work your 45 hours, you're supposed to have $450. I remember my first check for my first job when I was in high school. It was $10 an hour. I said, boy, I'm balling. I was in high school. I worked 45 hours that week. I worked 45 hours that week because it was on one of them breaks. One of them breaks. I don't know which it was. Holiday break, Christmas break. I worked 45 hours. I said, yeah, $450. I looked at that check. It had to be something under $300 or something. I said, hey. I went up to the office. I said, who is in here taking money from us? They said, Anton, you got to look at your pay stub. I looked at that pay stub. FICA, Fed, State. Who the heck is FICA and where did they come from? And why are they taking so much money? I had plans because, when you first get your first job or your first paycheck, you already start planning on how you spending the money. The money is spent before you ever get the check. And all the way up until me being 41 years old. I must say I've been, 15, 16 years old when I got my first job? I'm 41 and they still raping me. Still doing me like Ving Rhames in Pulp Fiction. Still bringing out the gimp. Don't worry. You think you're unique. You're not unique. They bringing out the gimp on you too. Oh, yeah. I figured out how to keep the gimp up off me a little bit, but they bringing out the gimp on you. Yeah, they are. They bringing out the gimp, been gimping on you since the gimp then came out. A lot of y'all trying to figure out what's the gimp. Go watch Pulp Fiction and I'll tell you what the gimp is.
No, money is not the answer here. Common sense is. And when I hear the word big government, I see ineffectiveness. I see people prevented from living their liberties. And I see the persons most impacted are persons of color in the inner cities who are the biggest victims. Now you add in Sanctuary City, where more taxpayer money is going. It is a recipe for disaster on many levels.
When police officers in Chicago hear this kind of stuff, Bill, what do they think?
When can I retire? How fast can I put in my papers? What's happening here, Brian, is this. The dirty little secret is a cop makes the same paycheck no matter what. And if you're going to defund me, if you're going to look to prosecute me for doing everything right, where is my initiative to fight crime? Cops will become report takers, not crime fighters. And that's what's happening, in my opinion.
That's actually makes sense. Because a police officer is going to get paid whatever he's going to get paid no matter what. So now what incentive do they have to go out there and chase? You know, if you look at some of these videos and it'll be like, oh, Dodge Hellcat goes 140 miles an hour, or Corvette goes 140 miles an hour to get away from the police. And then people be mad in chat like, they're endangering people by chasing him. We so backwards as a society that they won't say, oh man, you being reckless by driving 140 miles an hour and then forcing the police to chase you. They're endangering citizens by chasing him. And then the people be like, the cop be like, oh, okay. I ain't about to chase him. Cool. I get paid the same amount no matter what. They need to start incentivizing these cops. Hey, for every crime bust, for every problem you get off the street, for every illegal that you arrest, we're going to give you a bonus. Let me become mayor. Let me become the president of the United States. Let me become somebody that can have some real impact, a governor of a entire state. We're going to be putting incentives on y'all. They're going to be going to get y'all. They're going to be hunting y'all down. The same way that you got here is the same way that you're getting up out of here. The same way you got here is the same way you're getting up out of here.
This mayor is all he's doing is look to paying off people for votes to get reelected. And that's not the way to go to safeguard the citizens of Chicago.
So he mentioned the $500,000 for reparations. They've spent over $360 million on the migrant crisis. If I live in Chicago, I'm a law-abiding citizen. All I'm thinking of is, how do I get out of here? Because this growing bill is going to get stuck on my tax bill, and I'm not getting any great services from any of the money we're spending here, Bill.
And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a mass exodus from all these cities that are sanctuary cities. Why? Hundreds of millions of dollars being allocated towards things that are not enhancing the quality of life towards the American citizen or the resident of these areas, not in education. You're seeing veterans being displaced so they could live under a bridge. So you have migration, and we don't know the criminal records of these people that are coming in. There's no vetting process. You know, throwing more money at a problem does not fix the problem.
And you know what the interesting thing is about that is they selling y'all out for votes. When they go out here and they use your money to make you feel good, or they do a little bit of here and then they give the rest over to some contractor that's in who, what, when, where, why, and how place. And the contractors is getting rich because they servicing the migrants and they doing the worst thing for your community. You still going to vote for them because you're going to say that Democrats is for the poor and Republicans are for the rich.